Hi there everyone, Coach Alexa here. I have been watching rather a lot of the Winter Olympic coverage recently. I love watching sport, any form of sport, and athletes that are performing at that kind of elite level always really fascinate me. As does watching loads of different types of sport, really. And it got me thinking about the overlap between seemingly quite different sports and the things that perhaps we can kind of take from different sports and bring them into our running and where that overlap is. So I think the Winter Olympics started off with quite some of the longer cross-country skiing events, which are real tests of people's cardiovascular performance. So you might have heard the term VO2 max, which is basically a measurement of how efficient and how much oxygen can our body utilise and get to the right places in our body and get out again to produce a kind of fast pace, high effort, but over an extended period of time. So cross-country skiing is where you get some of the athletes that have the highest VO2 maxes in the world, because it really challenges working at a really high level, but for a longer period of time, so not just a sprint. And that kind of thing obviously has a great crossover into, for example, 10k, half marathon, if you're really, really, really pushing on at that sort of high effort. I was also watching the snowboarder slope style. Their awareness of where they are in the space whilst they're twiddling around and flying through the air and the courage involved in taking those massive jumps is another area that I think we can learn from in running. So part of that awareness of where we are in space and knowing exactly how we're going to land and how to maneuver our body in the air is a system called proprioception. So our awareness of where our limbs are without having to look at them. And again, that's a great skill to develop in running. It really helps with our balance and our control, and you can practice it just by getting out on the trails, maybe even doing some exercises around the home, like starting off on standing on one leg, doing one leg hops, even standing on one leg with your eyes closed. A little bit Jedi level of balance there. And I guess there's a lot of sports that use that sort of sprinting that we have at the sort of shorter, sharper 100 metres end of running. Like the bobsleigh and the skeleton, we've all got those sort of sprint starts to them. So the benefit of strength training, you'll see that those athletes have got a huge amount of power. Their musculature is amazing. I saw some footage of an injured winter athlete, and you could literally see why the quads are called quads, because there are four of them, quad. You could see all four of his quad muscles. They were that strong and well developed. So huge numbers of, I guess, crossovers between all sports, the value and the importance of strength training, how to kind of work on that balance, that proprioception, so to keep us really light on our feet when we're running, and so we have that intuitive awareness of where our body is, so we don't trip over things, which is quite helpful. And also that ability to really work on our cardiovascular system so that we can push ourselves that little bit more. And for those extended efforts, 5k, 10k, half marathon, we can really push on with how fast we can run. So I urge you, have a little bit of a look at the Winter Olympic coverage if you've not already. There's always something fascinating to see, and always really, really interesting how all these different aspects of our fitness combine together really nicely.